Okay, sorry, just quickly on Evan Gershkovich. His trial moves quickly through the witness testimony behind closed doors today. Was the embassy able to have access to his trial, and when was the last time the U.S. had contacts with him?
Sure.
And then what's the latest on a potential prisoner exchange for him and Paul Whelan?
So a couple of things. First, we are obviously watching this trial very closely. Embassy Moscow was not able to be at the courtroom given the short notice that they were provided of its date and some additional logistical hurdles that they faced. In terms of the most recent consular visit, Ambassador Tracy visited Evan on May 23rd. And on broadly, let me just say that we have been clear from the get-go that Evan did nothing wrong and should not have been detained. To date, Russia has provided no evidence of a crime and has failed to justify Evan's continued detention. Evan should not be detained, Paul Whelan should not be detained, and both of them should be immediately released. As it relates to where we are in the process, I'm not going to speak to negotiations in public. We are seeking the release of Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan as soon as possible. The timeline of the trial and what route that takes does not have a bearing and has no impact on the urgency that the United States has been prioritizing in this effort. We want both of them home immediately, and will continue to work in this area until they're reunited with their loved ones. Go ahead,
Thanks,
Sham.
Vedant. Follow up on that, actually. Yeah. So Evan Gershkovich is due in court again tomorrow. Will U.S. diplomats be on hand for that hearing or attempt to gain access?
We will certainly attempt to gain access. I don't have any more specific than that, but I'm happy to check with the team in Moscow and see if we can follow up with you.
Thank you. And the timeline of the trial that seems to have rocketed forward, does the State Department have any insight into why this timeline has been moved up? Is it because perhaps Russia is hoping to secure a deal?
I don't have any assessment on why Russia moved the trial up to this month. What I can say is that this timeline, first, I think it's important for us to note from here that this whole legal process is a sham for Evan. He is being wrongfully detained. He did nothing wrong. We have been clear about that from the onset. Again, I will use this opportunity to echo that Russia has provided no evidence of a crime and failed to justify the reason behind Evan's detention. Now, that being said, this fake sham legal process that we are seeing play out has no bearing on the urgency that we have placed on seeking a release of Evan's detention and seeking a release for Paul Whelan as well, and we'll continue to work that process tirelessly.
Can I follow up on that?
Yeah,
When was the last time there was any active, substantive discussion between the U.S. and the Russians on this matter?
It should be no surprise to you, I would not speak to those kinds of negotiations or process from up here.
Has there been any other offers put on the table after the ones that you guys
I'm just not going to
alluded to?
negotiate in public. Thanks. Jenny.